Okay.
Yeah. So the king, uh, King Lololo, ushered you into a hall and wants to thank you for essentially saving the um, his queen. And I'm gonna go ahead and play that ambient music. You walk into this big hall. Now this banquet is in the House of Ball. Just remember that's where you guys snuck in and defeated a long time ago. It feels like almost a year ago. This is a huge temple um, devoted to Baal, the god of murder, who they do worship. There are a large number of people in the city that worship this god. And when you walk in, you'll notice that there are symbols of blood, like just the blood drops and skulls on the wall, but they're sort of dusty, and the atmosphere doesn't feel any like demonic in that sense. When you walk into this hall, you'll notice that there are particular people there. I don't know if you guys will know some of them. We'll have to do insight checks and whatnot. Um, but the castle, I'm sorry, the Grand Hall is bathed with warm golden lights and lanterns. They are a little bit, and Lololo is going to be talking to you, but he speaks in Arnold voice, so all you're going to really hear is like, you know, come on in here, but he speaks in this like ancient dialect that no one can understand. So he has an interpreter uh, with him, but the interpreter also doesn't know what he's saying because he can't understand him. So he's carrying around a magical instrument that sort of enunciates what Lolo is trying to say. And I'm just going to roll to see how accurate. Okay, so 19. It's going to be pretty accurate. Um, so you walk in. He says, "Please enjoy this feast. Uh, look around. I've invited the important members of the Tri-Guard. Not everyone could join, but I'm happy to introduce you to a few of them. But you might want to mingle amongst the group. Dinner's about to start, and I'm going to go make sure it's all prepared, and it'll begin shortly." And he's going to sort of walk away and leave you guys in a group, um, and that's where we'll begin the the session. So as you guys are in a circle, essentially he's left you, and as you look around the room, you'll notice for your passive perceptions you can pretty much see everyone. There's a dwarf who Booterbot, give me a insight check. I believe is what we'll be using to remember to see if you can remember.
Insight check.
And if I get any of these rolls wrong, Chris, please interrupt me and correct me.
Do you think it should be
It could be
50?
Huh?
Do you think it should be history?
History to see if he remembers who.
That doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I could do history.
Okay. Let me just. I'm reloading the page because it was bugging out.
This music is great, Adam. It's pretty good.
I rolled a 14.
All right, so this guy looks awfully similar to the call box operator, um, known as Herget Copperbelly, and he is talking to this old dwarf smithsman. Around the room, you see a pixie. Um, seems to be dressed in uh, almost like turquoise and blue coloring. There's a creature. I'm not 100% sure. Stag, you might have run across a merman, but this creature looks like he belongs to the water. Passive wise, you probably can determine that from the gills on his neck and the webbed feet that he belongs to some sort of water. There are a couple women down here chatting in the corner of the room, and one of them is dressed in black. The other one has a large hat on that is flat at the top. And everyone seems to be jolly and talking. The table is full of alcohol, and it's set for 12. And there are a couple, and I'll just recreate and clone these guys. There are a couple ball robed or ball themed servants in the room as well that seem to be catering to the individuals. Just as you look at these guys, one's going to come over and say, "Good evening, welcome to the banquet. Can I get you anything to drink?"
Oh, yes. A round of drinks for us all, I think.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll have some of your finest oil, sir.
No problem. King Lolo has told us that we have to make sure we cater to everyone who comes in, even the Warforged like yourself. I'll be back in a moment. And he sort of walks off into the next room, and you hear some clinking and clanking.
Oh, fantastic. Stag is going to approach Turgan. Well, I know we haven't spoken much. Nice to meet you. My name is Stag, Seth Hartley. You might have heard Seth Hartley. I'm a performer. It seems that you've, I wouldn't say joined or tagged along or...
I'll slap my hand on Turgan's back and I'll say, "Oh yeah, he made quite the impression."
Oh, well, welcome to the group. I guess do you know what we're doing here? Has anyone filled you in about the skulls and the ninjas?
More or less. And then I go and I draw the penis and I say, "Do you know what this is?"
It's Stag. It's a smile. It's like that was before my time, unfortunately. He's gonna turn, look at Sprock. He's always had that since I've known him. But I can add it to my list of things to look for. Hold on. Let me actually. He's gonna fiddle around with this a little booklet.
We're gonna have to split playing Sprock, so I'll take care of Sprock for the time being. But when the game starts, I'll have to. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Sprock is going to sort of, he can't
shape tattoo.
He's going to show the tattoo of the phallus on his face, sort of lift up the tentacles, and he's going to say, "How did?" And he's going to telepathy into you. How did you come by this tattoo? I remember I got it tattooed on my face at the town of Brock months and months ago. It's very weird, peculiar that you'd have such a symbol on you or know of it. Weird. It must be a sign of fate or of some sort. And give me a Constitution check, Turgan.
Okay. Con save in the middle of a ball?
Yeah. This goes back to our Discord from earlier last week.
Yeah, 17.
You feel just a slight, nothing bad with the 17, but your hair starts to raise up a little bit, and you're feeling a little like you're a little uneasy. it's almost as if the mushroom high is about to kick in. Like everything's a little, you feel a little quiver up your spine a little bit. Nothing bad. It almost feels good. You hear out of the corner of Copperbelly and this large Copperbelly looking character says, "Oh, the old Smiths!" You overhear him rumbling, "Oh, the old Smiths, lad. You don't know exactly how to build them. All you do is build those war machines. But really, the essence of travel comes through the gate, the call boxes that I've created. But we couldn't have done them without you. Clank, clank, and they start chugging. You hear that bit of conversation. The servant is going to come back. Here you are, gentlemen. Sorry to interrupt. Here are your drinks.
Oh.
If there's anything else I can do for you, you let me know. I do know that the dinner is going to start soon.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you.
I think I look at
He hands out. He sticks out his hand.
I give him a high five.
A custom I don't understand.
I flip him a copper piece.
Thank you, sir. I will take care.
I look at Stag and I say, "Is there any reason we'd want to talk to the toll booth guy?"
I mean, there was that hidden door, the one that went to the sky,
Mm-hmm. But
and we did get him drunk. Is that the same guy?
we did, but
he's
not drunk yet. We should wait till after the dinner, and
Then
we
he
should
might
approach him when
remember
he's
you.
more
That's
drunk.
right. He might remember
Right.
you. I remember that. But it might be worth. It sounds like they make Warforges. Might be worth talking to the person he's talking to.
Sure.
How are the upgrades working out? How are they holding on?
I mean, seems fine.
Oh, good. Good.
Can't complain.
Good to see.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I got covered in fucking bird shit, but other than that, pretty good.
You did what?
Oh,
I'm gonna have to hear this story, and I'm gonna have to turn it into a song that the bards all across this land will sing for ages.
I don't know if I want to be in that song, but what I'll tell you is that our good friend Kali, the one who you left, you didn't really get to spend much time with. At one point, we snuck into a Lavinier estate in a blanket covered in bird shit because we were afraid of the owlbears. It was quite a sight, really, and a smell, I'm sure. Luckily, I could turn off my olfactory senses, so it wasn't so bad for me.
I'm glad I stayed here in the library.
You're gonna hear the women in the females in the corner of the room. They're gonna look like they're arguing, and they're gonna say, "No, it's not flat. It's round, preposterous." You can't really make out who's saying that, but those words come shouting out at you, and all you overhear the word ships and sea from the conversation with the merman, and just at that moment, Lolo is going to come in, and you're going to hear a big bang, boom, boom, and then a horn is going to be blown by one of the servants. The esteemed High King Lolo welcomes you. Please be quiet, and the music is going to fade off, and you're going to hear this. He's going to be speaking in a language you don't understand, and he's going to say, "Let me tell you something. Strength doesn't come from what you don't understand what he's saying though. Strength doesn't come from whining. Your struggles develop your strength. When you do hardships and you decide not to surrender, that's the strength. Don't you understand that, you idiot? Come on. Go out there and work your butt off. Be relentless. Because that's what champions are made of, just like our friends. Here's to you. Here's to you guys. Welcome to the comfort zone. Let's have some fun. So like you hear that weird speech, and like it's spoken in like something, and the interpreter is going to come out and say he's going to put the the magic equipment on the table, and you're going to hear his words flow, and it's going to say, "Welcome to our dinner, to honor the heroes." And he's going to say, "He bids you welcome."
Great.
Hold on, I had a speech.
So we're about to get a bunch of attention, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
good news is we'll be able to talk to all these people after this.
I, King Lololo, thank you, mighty adventurers, for saving the queen from the wolves of the Wandermount region and bringing her back to us. The tides of fate once more turn in our favor, for we have heroes amongst us. Raise your cups and toast these heroes, and let's feast as if our hearts desired, or something like that.
Here,
And
here.
sharpen your
Here,
blades,
here.
it's going to be a feast. And the music turns on, cheer, cheer, and everyone sort of starts to come to the table. Now, there are going to be, I didn't put chairs down, there are 12 seats. Lololo is going to be sitting at the top next to, as you guys walk over, I will describe them to you. Lololo is sitting next to, where is he? So you guys know who King Lololo is. There is a eccentric alchemist, biologist, doctor sitting next to King Lololo. He's got wild black hair and tiny goggles that are turned up. He has a teacup that's full of what looks like to be wine. You can't really, you don't, but yet the table doesn't seem to have a lot of wine on it. And his coat has a ridiculous amount of pockets. It's got like, I don't know, more than you can count. And his coat also seems to be covered in that red wine. The
Stag is gonna sit next to that doctor.
okay, the two women come over. One dressed in black. One is an elderly lady with a flat head, a flat hat. She doesn't want to take it off. It looks like she has blue and white robes, and she carries a silver disc that feels that it continuously spins, and a book with a flat Earth on it. And next to her is a white-haired, black-dressed human. It's the first human I've had in a while, and her hair is stormy cloud-colored. Her eyes are deceiving. There's glimpses of white in them, but from all you can tell, they are predominantly black. And she has a chain around her neck and a white flower on her vest. And she's going to sit. They're going to sit next to, in the corner next to Stag, and there's one seat in between them. Copperbelly and the old Smith are going to come over and sit one chair down. So there's a seat in between the two women. There's a seat next to a woman and the old Smith, and then there is what looks like, who would know out of you guys? Sprock is going to telepathically tell you, ooh, that looks like that sea pixie. That looks like a sea pixie from before. I don't know if that's a mermaid or a merman, but that seems to be, this is what you hear in his mind, telepathically. And they are going to come over and sit in the middle of this table. So there are 4 seats left open. Stag has taken, no, I'm sorry, there's 3 seats left open. Stag has decided to sit next to Lololo and the doctor and next to the Flat Earth lady. And you guys pick where you guys want to sit. And I guess Sprock will sit wherever the last one is. Whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I turn to Bergen and I'm like, don't worry. We don't have to say much if we don't want to.
So the old man is going to look at you. The old Smith is going to say, "Oh, is that a Warforge? Oh, why don't you come over here, young lad or old lad? I am not sure. I haven't seen a Warforge like you built with those parts since I was in the Underdark years and years ago. Why don't you come over and sit next to me?"
Sure. I feel like I can't turn down the request. Who invited me, by the way? Sorry, just like
The old Smith that's sitting next to Copperbelly. And there's 2
Okay.
seats left. I guess Stag is going to come over and sit next to Copperbelly, or Sprock, I mean, is going to sit next to Copperbelly, and the Merfolk leaving Turgan to sit next to King Lololo, who's also a dwarf. I guess that makes sense, and the Pixie. And the feast is going to start. So servants come out, and they're bringing meats and wine and anything you want to stuff your face. Seems like it's jolly. And we're going to start this, and I'm going to try to do something different. And I will start with Turgan. So let me just... Actually, why don't you guys roll initiative?
Okay.
Oh boy.
Hey.
A 2. I am totally unprepared
Oh,
for what
an
is about
8.
to happen.
I got a 12.
All right, so Turgan's with the 12. And Chris, what'd you get?
An 8.
Booterbot got a 2. Sprock is going to get, and someone is going to have to play for Sprock. Sprock got a 4. And Chris got an 8. All right, Turgan, you are sitting next to Lololo and the Sea Pixie. And you're going to hear...
Wait, is there a merman and a sea pixie?
Yes, and they are communicating and having a lively conversation. And the Sea Pixie is going to turn to you and say, "Good day, hero. What is your name?"
Turgan.
"Hello, Turgan. My name is Glimitalia, but you can call me Glim. Glim Bubblewish. I'm a sea pixie from the Unvegan Seas, and this here is my good friend Sir Finric Stormquill. And he's sort of a proud merman, and he says, and I guess speaking in a masculine presence, and it doesn't say much, but you can sort of jive with that, since I would imagine that you speak less words and more man than the majority of the folk here. And Glim is gonna turn to Findrick, and he says, "I'm gonna tell ye, Finric, If King Piplo thinks he can just swim into the Kraken Den and nab the Soul Chewer's thimble, he's nuttier than a kelp crunch cookie. Finric is gonna return. You're overhearing this conversation. Finric is gonna turn and say, "It's not just any thimble, Glim. That cursed relic can stitch a soul back into the living, but it was pulled from the demon realm of thread and flame. It thumbs when near death. It hums when near death. You know what that means." Glim looks at you, Turgan. He says, "It hums? You believe this thing? You believe that? It hums?" And he's going to ask you a question, Turgan. And he's going to say, "You, surface folk. You surface folk. You ever fight a kraken?"
Not I. No.
Well, Acropopola just passed away. And he's left this void and riches in the Undergone Sea. And that's what this is about. The King Piplo is searching for these mysterious items. And Fenric leans over to you, the merman, and he's going to say, "Turgan, would you dive into the deep? If need be, you're a hero."
Yeah, if I had to. What's in it for me?
Well, and now we're gonna cut over to. Well, let me tell you a story, Turgan. And we're going to cut over to Chris, number 8. And Chris, you are sitting next to King Lololo and this weird doctor. And this weird and King Lololo's magical item is sitting right next to, in between him, so you can hear King Lololo's going to be saying like, "Stick around, come on, I'm right here, you idiot, lift heavier weights." But it's going to come out in a language, and this eccentric alchemist is going to be sitting there. He's going to say, "You see, the first cell to turn," he's going to look at you like you're already involved in the conversation. "You see, the first cell to turn, what we call the necrofix node, activates when the soul's connection weakens. If we could shrink a team of heroes, insert them via nano carriage, and eliminate the node before it multiplies, we might reverse the zombification in the early stages, putting the threat of zombie sieges out of Trigard for good. You."
Well, how quick do you think we need to catch him for that to work?
Well, it depends. We don't know how to measure the soul leaving the body. That's the question. But there is a time when the virus takes hold and the soul is fighting to stay. It's not just a walking zombie, just not quite yet. I would say about a day, maybe 2.
Is that node active before the soul goes?
The necrofix node is the first cell in the body to turn.
Oh.
And that thing essentially spreads.
Is it the same place every person?
King Lololo's statue says, "Wicked." He's like, God. And you hear the statue say, "Wicked." Have you done trials? What was your question, Chris?
Was it the same place every time that
No.
turns?
No.
Right.
No, we've not tested just yet. We're testing on goats, but the implications are vast. Imagine fighting from within. We'd have to shrink you down to microscopic levels. But that is something that's in high priority here. As you
That sounds exciting.
give me a investigation check, Chris.
Investigation, not great. Oh, that's not a D20. A natural 20 for a 21.
You notice
On-
that his robes are saturated in blood. He's clearly come directly from the office in this one.
Have you, and as he's thinking this, have you cleaned up before you came here?
No, I've just come
Well-
straight from the office. It's hard.
Stag will
I barely sleep.
prestidigitation him clean.
Oh, that's nice. Thank
Oh,
you.
well. Do what I can.
Well, you're a worthy hero. I'm sure you
You're
can do better.
you're a doctor and you know the body. Maybe you could help me with this. And he'll pull out, if you guys gave Stag the booklet on the partial amnesia,
Mm-hmm.
he'll open it up and see here this device. It's supposed to enter the skull somewhere here. I can't quite understand. Does this make sense to you? You understand what's going on here?
I haven't seen notes like this since for years of study. Let me tell you a story about that.
Now we're going to cut over to Sprock. Sprock is sitting there next to. No, we'll just leave Sprock. Let's cut over to Booterbot. Booterbot, you are sitting next to Copperbelly and the Smith, and Hedrit Copperbelly is going to say, "Dimly, here's to you, ha ha." And Dimly's going to take a sip. You look at Dimly; he's an old dwarven tinkerer, with steam burns on his body, and his dusts in his cracks. And Copperbelly is this big, fat, heavy-set dwarf with a big copper, essentially a copper belly. And Dimly's going to say, "The Middle Dark's boiling. Let me tell you, the Middle Dark is boiling. You, Warforged, can tell that you are not from this time per se. You must be very old."
What is the Middle Dark is boiling?
Yes.
I'll get. What do you mean by that?
Well, the Middle Dark is boiling. Amal Argots cracked his crown. The fella made a pact with a thing that spoke sideways. In some cave deep down, further down, lower than the Underdark, than the Middle Dark, a place known as the Underdark, or the Lower Dark rather, where reality seems to warp. Now he's mining thought and metal and twisting space like it's some sort of sourdough just churning. He burps. Copperbelly interrupts him. He says, "Meanwhile, the true King Moses gathers rebels like mushrooms after rain. Says he's trying to save the slaves, being eaten, exploded, folded into golems, transcribed into books. They deserve better, these slaves." Dimly's going to say, "Well, I miss the old days when we just flipped a coin. Ha ha! Flipped a coin and decided the fate of the Mind Flayer colonies. Vessel versus Srezzle. Flat versus round. The giant coin of truth still stands in Striad." to give praise to the debate. One flip to rule them all, they said. Copperbelly is going to say, "Ha ha, you old chap! You're so old and wise. I'll drink to you." And he's going to drink and belch. And he says he's going to ask, and Dimley's going to ask you a question. Booter, he's going to say you. You ever passed through the starlit ribs? I know you're
No.
you're
What
from
are the
the upper
starlit
dark
ribs?
with those. I know you're from the upper dark with those. The starlit ribs are a tunnel. You must know. Booterbot, this is a question that is going to offer you as a player the ability to um, world build. Describe the starlit ribs. It's the tunnel that connects the middle dark and the upper dark.
Right. Yeah. Flashes of memory come to me. The, the starlit ribs are a unique tunnel unlike any that I've ever seen. Where whoever it was, I don't even remember who, they drilled a tunnel straight up and down from the surface all the way through multiple levels of the Underdark. From the Underdark to the Middle Dark, all the way down. Though parts of it are collapsed now, but they get their name from the luminescent rocks that are in streaks going up and down the tunnel. So it looks like you're going past the ribs of a great dragon, like you're almost inside of it, from these layers of luminescent rock that that the tunnel was carved through.
Nice. 1 point for you. Oh, this man here offers you a fresh, fills your glass of oil. Turgan. Let's see here.
Yes.
You had asked about the story of the Unvegan Sea, I believe. And the pixie Glim Bubble Wish is going to turn to you and he's going to say, well, there was one Agropopula. He's the Kraken, the King Kraken, the head of the Kraken Order. He vanquished, he died, he disappeared. It was almost as if he just evaporated into thin air, leaving the Unvegan seas. You know, you Earth dwellers, you don't understand that the sea is vast, full of creatures. It's a uh, enormous wealth and power under the sea. We control all the trades, essentially, though for good, some for bad. But there's a sort of a vacuum down under right now. King Piplo doesn't quite know what to do. We just want to get a hold of the powerful items in Agropopola's cave, where we just know that he has them. See, a Kraken thinks that they're the most powerful beings in the world, but they essentially view themselves as gods, and the only thing that they want is more power. And so they just went around collecting these magical items. So as far as we know, those items are there waiting for us. So King Piplo is trying to find them. The merman Finric is going to stop and say, well, that's not exactly it. There are 3 other Krakens, young ones, debating right now as we speak who's more powerful. And as soon as that debate is over, well, we're going to find out real fast who the king is of that sea. So I ask you again, Landwalker, would you dive deep to stop a war? Or steal a demon thimble to bring back to your king, to our king?
Aye, I can do that.
Okay. And you guys can stop me at any point if this is getting boring or not. We're gonna cut over to Chris. I'm gonna go just one round over. Stag, you're also sitting next to the women, of course. Stag and Booterbot. You guys are gonna hear this conversation between the two women sitting there, and
Stag will eat some cheese and some chicken, and oh, this is delicious.
the elderly lady is going to say, I am Yerner. I am Yerner Weathersbody. And Cairo, the world is flat, okay? Everyone knows it. This debate has been going on and on. Cairo's going to interrupt. It's observable. The tides curve. The storms wrap. The storms wrap. No one's going to know this better than the weather lady like myself. I've even seen it from the edge of Terek, the port town where I'm from. The world is round, Yerner interrupts, and I felt the edge, child. The even orb temple knows. Flat is a butter plate. Flat as a butter plate. Ask the sky dwarves or the Loxodons in the sky village up in the sky. They fight because of love, not logic.
Stag will jump in. It's like, well, why ask people up in the clouds? Why not go all the way to the moon?
That's
Don't they
interesting.
make these sky ships that go really high up? There should be one that can get you to the moon, and then sure you could look back and see if it's round or flat.
Dimly Axon is going to roll a. Dimly Axon gives you an eye. Dimly Axon overhears your conversation. Huh? Moons, huh? Cairo.
Oh, yeah.
Cairo's going to say, not so fast, Dimly. Love is logic. The sky kingdoms rise and fall like breath. The Loxodons ride wind, and dwarves mine the clouds. But neither can live without the other. You understand that. The round earthers and the flat earthers need each other. The paradox. Yerner says that's because the paradox proves purpose. The earth is flat, but the round earthers need the flat earthers. Because if they didn't exist, then they wouldn't have anything to argue about. So it's a love-hate, not just love. Cairo's going to look at you, Stag. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, say, well, then maybe you could find something more productive to argue about instead of if the world is round or flat.
Have you been to the Sky Kingdoms?
I'm excited to go one day. I've only heard about it.
Yerner leads in. Do you love someone enough to believe the impossible?
I have. Her name was whatever that my player's name was.
I think
She
that
loved
was
her so
mine.
much you remember her name.
Mind Flayer. You know what? I'm going to give you a
Quellball.
Quellball. I don't
That's
know.
what they call it.
Dimly Axon is going to come over to you now. I heard it's a reference of a moon and a ship.
Oh yeah.
What say you, sir?
That would be fun. Have you been to the moon?
No, but see, I'm a submariner. Was a long time ago, until of course the flat Earth debate these women are talking about. We've already had one down south, down in the upper dark, and it sort of shaped reality and where we are right now. But the debate still unfolds in these sky islands, the sky kingdoms.
There's a
How did
couple
he get up
ways.
there?
There's a couple ways you can find the staircase that climbs. It seems to move every now and then.
A staircase?
Yes, of course. The Wandering Staircase. It has a mystical name. I don't really know it. It also has a guard. It does show itself on by chance, randomly, every night. Every morning it reveals itself in a different place, and it stays there until the next morning, and it moves. It's said that this guardian travels with it forever, for whatever reason, locked in. You're gonna hear Cardigan. Well, that's because he touched it. Rumor is the guard he touched the staircase when it was activating, and he got trapped in. Sort of sold his soul by touching and activating the scientific staircase, and when it was activated, it was rumored that his body and the staircase became one, locking his soul in. And a Cardigan looks over at Booterbot, and he says, You seem to be you must be in search of a soul, you Warforged.
Why, I never thought about that. I always assumed I had one.
Interesting. It's weird. Turgan, give me a Constitution save now. Another one. You feel uneasy now. You feel like something is not going well. Not you've had your some food.
23.
You don't get ill, but you have a flash, and you rolled in our Discord 2. You look down, and at 23, you're going to be able to hide this from people. Your veins are shining white, and you have everything starts to blink a little bit. You have a white fuzz, and it fades in and out, and you come to, you're fine with a Constitution save that high, but your veins are slightly lighter than whiter rather than they have been, and it doesn't seem like the whiteness of your veins is going away. Finrick, Glim Bubblewish is going to roll a 4, not noticing anything. You okay? I was just talking to you about Angropopula, and it doesn't seem that you were paying attention. Is everything okay with you?
I'm going to describe to him like what just happened and show him my veins.
That's crazy.
You know why they're white like this?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't feel so good.
Interesting. The waiters are going to come in. Is there anything that you guys want to continue conversing with these NPCs about?
Just one. I guess I wanted to ask the Dimly. I wanted to ask him, so I turn to Dimly and I say, well, you must know that I'm an older model. I'm curious. I've been to the shop in town, but what upgrades would you recommend for an old warforged like me to get up to spec with the newer models?
The last time I saw a warforged like you was when Debo Borgenine asked for parts. I don't know if you remember her. You probably were around at that time.
She was my owner, actually.
Really? Small world.
Yeah.
These in a grand city like this, small world. poor lady passed away. Here's to her. He takes a swig of oil by accident. I can't drink that. Here, you take this. I must have mixed the glasses up. You were asking about parts. I'm so
Yeah.
old. I'll tell you what. That metal shop you were in earlier in Trigard, they did a pretty good job on you. I'm retired now, and I don't really have I cannot really deal with these upgrades. But I can give you these. Hero of yours, and he hands you a bag of Warforge tools.
Okay. Why, thank you. Good.
And I will have to upgrade your parts list. You will be able to use them to gain some so a bonus HP on a short rest.
Cool.
If you want, but you'll have to roll. So your short rest will be you either get the short rest HP, or you can roll to see if you can use it to enhance to either get higher or lower. All right, dessert is coming. Does anyone else want to ask any of these NPCs anything else? The
Nope.
so everyone believes everything these guys are saying. All right, so
Oh well, I was gonna.
go ahead.
I have all the adventure hooks written down.
Turgan.
Like, am I under the effects of poison?
No. Something is happening to you
Okay.
that has happened to. Well, something is happening to you in particular that is different from poison. The waiters and staff are going to come out and clear the tables. Pardon me. Hope you're enjoying. Can I get you anything else? Dessert is about to come out. And they're going to start putting down this bubbling custard. It's moving and bubbling. Let's see here. The pixie's going to look down. You, Turgan, it is. What does this taste like to you? Scoops it into his mouth. Sort of weird taste. This is a world-building moment for you, Turgan. You're going to bite into it, and you're going to taste and describe anything you want from a region. Have at it.
So I'm going to be familiar with this.
You are going to. Yeah, let's see where it goes. Let's see how this goes.
Okay. I'm going to take a bite of it, and it's just going to be taste exactly like an uncle makes it back home, with like a specific milk from a specific animal. I guess maybe like sheep's milk or something. And it's like a sweet vanilla custard with like made from like the vanilla grown on, I don't know, some one of the wandering mountains.
The waiter is going to overhear you. Oh, good taste buds. But this isn't actually milk. I know the custard that you are referring to. This is made from sheep's milk, similar. But this is actually from the Death Valley sheep milk. Same something with the elevation of the sheep in the mountains. This was flown in from the dark black mountain. And vanilla, yes, that was taken from the roots right up in the mountain region of the Wandermount Heights. It's hard to go up there. I'm sure you know. And he taps you. But yes, the sheep's for some reason the custard on the sheep's at high levels come from the milk. But yes, right on. Good taste. Good taste buds for you. So now you know that there are sheep in the Black Mountain. I had to throw in a game hook for the Black Mountain. The Pixie's gonna say, I heard rumors about the Black Mountain being guarded by the Black Dragon, but no one's ever come back to tell a story. Just rumors. And as the desserts are being eaten, does anyone else want to have a converse before we play the next sort of?
Stag will go to low. So, how is the defense of the city going? How's your fight going against these zombies?
And the little statue is going to say, "I would love to, first off, just to honestly to be there listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger growl." But the statue is going to say, "The cleanup has been the worst part, but it's going to take more than a zombie siege to destroy this city. Something tells me that that dark wizard was after something else. He came and all of a sudden it stopped."
Well, we know he's after the skulls, so I'm sure he's after the other ones, and I think we know where a few of them are.
Turgan, give me a let's see, I don't want to do a Constitution again. Which is the one that you can overhear? Give me a
Perception?
Yeah, give me a perception check. Straight up.
$14.
You hear this conversation with the skulls, and Lolo is going to say, "Oh, those skulls, the ancient myth of the skulls. Known, there are 6. No one has ever seen them. I had never seen them. Quite powerful."
Stag would have shown Low his green skull while they were working together on this
You have
past week.
one, I know of.
Oh,
2.
We had 3. But I know we only still have this one. I think
The rumor is that these skulls, very hard to find, obviously. There was one. I just know it's in that dark mountain. I know it. I just have my feeling is that it's there, and he's so powerful and knowledgeable that he just knows it. I know that there's one there. Where in there or how to get there, I just don't. No one's ever come back from that valley and that mountain. See,
well, you're right. We spoke to a prophet in the Underdark before we came and met you here, and they said there was one in the mountains. There's one in the lower dark. And I think those are the only ones outside of the other 3 that we had that we know about.
Well,
But we do know about those 2.
the white one I do. If the black one is evil, wow. Don't
The
you
white
think
one
that
is
the
good.
white one would be good, I think.
I would
But this
hope.
is a quest, not for me, obviously, although,
It's for me.
yes, of
And
course.
maybe with this device that we've been able to recover, might shed some more insight once he's holding the little. He's not holding the skull out like an imaginary skull. Once I connect with this thing.
Cardigan, my dear scientist Cardigan. Overworked, underpaid. That's not true entirely, Cardigan, isn't it? Yeah, I love my job. Cardigan will show you everything he knows about transferring those skulls into your mind, if that's what you have planned.
Well, there's a couple methods that we found, and I think with this other one, that might be the safest route, especially with the good doctor's assistant.
Turgan is going to have a flash of a white skull in his mind, just as they were talking about the white skull being good, and that flash is going to be very obvious. It's a white skull that and his veins are going to light up again. And now, and he says, well, Cardigan will certainly show you how to use those. Any tricks that he knows, he'll help you. But as we do always at the end of these banquets, we give toasts.
May I give a toast?
You certainly
And
can.
I will use my feature of inspiring leader to, over the next 10 minutes of this speech, give temporary hit points to the 4 of our party members that are here, Lo, and Dr. Cardigan.
Yes.
Actually, no, Lo, and Dimly Axon. Since we know Dimly Axon from the past. We've met him before. He made Ignis's bow. And he'll give a speech to the heroes for bringing back the queen, to Turgan, champion among champions, to Glim, taking the sea wherever you go, to Fimric, to sharing your wise insight and knowledge to us all, Sprock, for your hardships that you've been through and the symbols that you bear from those hardships, Dimly, for your dedication to creation, and Hedrick, for your innovation in the call boxes. Cairo, Yearner, one day you will find balance and find a better purpose for your lives instead of arguing whether this world is flat. And maybe Dimly might help you see that way. Dr. Cardigan, you're saving the world with your miniaturizations. We look forward to seeing what comes of it. And with King Lolo's leadership, this world will be united as one, and we all will be champions and heroes in our own right.
Hear, hear! Hear, hear! Brave heroes! You've heard our woes and walked through our wine. We ask now, where shall you go next? Whose burden will you lift? Cardigan is going to help you with these elements that you have, these skulls. He's working on the zombification process. But the world needs heroes.
Well, fellas, where do you want to go?
I mean,
Ghost.
I
I
think the Kraken
feel
sounds like fun.
like, yeah, I would say either the Kraken or to space. I don't think the Middle Dark is all that exciting compared to
Well,
those two.
if we're looking for a skull, it's not. It's either the Lower Dark with reality, or the Black Mountains. But I mean, I've always wanted to see what living in the clouds is like. What do you say about going up and? I mean, Sprock told me the story of the Loxodon, who was a sage. Maybe there's something up there about that white skull, that last one. Sprock, do you have that ring? I think Sprock has one of the rings of shared suffering.
You hear his voice. Indeed.
Oh, yeah, he said this is what came from the Loxodon. What do you say about that? About a trip to the clouds?
I'm cool with that. I guess. Not a big fan of heights, but
Oh, hold on. I can help you with there. He looks around. I guess I should use Lolo's fancy piano. But when we get outside, I can make a little flying carriage for you. You'll be
okay,
safe.
cool.
We could tie a rope onto you, tie a rope onto it, and you'll be good.
Maybe.
Well, you'll have to find that Weather's body is going to turn you. You'll have to find a way to the sky then.
Well, aren't there sky ships?
Lolo is going to say, of course there are sky ships.
There's
But you have
sky
to
ships
be,
in the greatest city in the world.
you have to be careful with the sky ships, though.
Oh.
Depends on what you want to use them for.
Can
Just
someone
like the
Give us a
sea,
ride.
just like the sea, there are mysteries out there. There are pirates. There are creatures in the skies. There are those who don't want you to succeed, obviously, and there are others who don't know anything about you. Sailors, pirates, and whatnot. So if you go out in a huge vessel, you might be spotted. If you have a smaller one, you might not be spotted. If you go out as travelers in balloons, might not be the safest bet either, but less conspicuous.
Well, what are you prepared to provide us? May we secure a small and stealthy aircraft from you? As a thank you for saving your wife, perhaps.
Anything you want, I will provide you with, but I do not want to send you off in something that I know will wreak havoc and cause you harm.
Who amongst you knows how to pilot a skyship?
I think back on my look through sort of my data banks, and I see some old programming for piloting skyships from years ago, many years ago, and I say I could probably figure it out.
Sprock, unfortunately, Jake's not playing. Sprock has knowledge of ship. Does anyone in the group have any sort of knowledge of sailing? Let's say, besides Sprock.
Not this character.
Sprock, I believe, was the... What was he? He was the boatswain? No, that was... He was the... Who's the guy for direction?
The navigator.
He was the navigator. Sprock is going to say, I have some knowledge of ships. Booterbot, do you have any... Would your character have any... I mean, you are a warforged, so you do... You probably have a...
I'm good at dealing with mechanical things. I could probably pilot craft.
Okay. And Turgan, do you have any knowledge of flight?
No, not at all.
Like any ships? Like, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we have one man who's had some experience. We have another warforged. Let me see if I have anything, a vessel of some type for you, gentlemen. Flying, of course. Would you like to have? There are two types. Would you like to have the smaller? The smaller ships don't have quite the punch that the larger ones do, but there's only 4 of you right now. I know that your fifth member has gotten sick and what did you say? Left behind in some area. So we will have to give you a crew, and I will give you some of the staff here at the Temple of Baal. I will give you a couple of them, but they're not sailors either, so you'll probably have to tell them what to do and how to pilot the ship. But I think you, with the Warforged at the helm, will probably have the ability to have some success. So I think a medium to small size craft we can certainly give you. I wouldn't want to give you a massive one, but I will tell you this. I will send a massive one with you to the borders to fly you off a couple miles off out of the Triguard's realm towards your destination.
Well, could we go fly back to pick up Sprock on the way? Maybe. I think it'd be useful to have another navigator.
Oh, you mean what's his name? Ignis?
Ignis, sorry, yes.
If you can find out where he is in the Wanda Mounts. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so Sky Kingdom it is.
Do you, does anyone happen to have any maps or idea of what's in the Sky Kingdom?
Not I.
This is no way. This is like news to me. There even is a
Lolo,
Sky Kingdom.
I'd ask Lolo. Do you have any maps of the Sky Kingdom or contacts up there?
The Sky Kingdom, Weathersbody is going to say, the Sky Kingdom, actually, no, I'm sorry, Cordial, what the hell is her name?
Uriner or Cairo?
Cairo is going to say, I know of the Sky Kingdom just a little bit. I know that the islands are constantly in motion. Weather's body, you understand that? They're in motion. If the earth was flat, if the land was flat, if the land was flat, I don't think that they would be in constant motion. I think they would be. Oh, stop! Weather's body says. Just answer the question. Well, the islands are constantly moving. I do know that the ships will only get you to a certain height. You'll have to find means up there of locating the staircase. There's only one way to, unless you find a magical portal, of course, but we have yet to find that. But I would imagine that flying a ship up into the sky will help you locate the staircase as it moves. You'll be able to pinpoint it. So once you get up there, there's only going to be a couple things to see besides the weather, which I'm familiar with, clouds, and anything else up there that's mysterious. But when you get up there, I would try to find the staircase. You'll be able to probably, I don't know the ins and outs of the staircase. And the Dr. Bunda is going to say, well, we know the staircase is solid, and we built it with magic, and we sort of lost it, and it just transports itself around randomly. So when you're up in the sky, I would bring food. That staircase could be right there in front of you, and the next night, gone, 100 miles away. So you have to be prepared for it to vanish. But I do know that you could. We did build it with the intention of being used as a docking station midway up. But once you get towards that kingdom up there, there's a barrier that the ships aren't allowed in, unless they, of course, have the blessing of the Loxodon, and that's all we know, really. But the best bet is to find that staircase.
Kali is a Loxodon, isn't she?
Kali is a Loxodon, but she has taken an oath with the king.
Well, I'm not asking her to leave, but perhaps she could write a letter for us, detailing her adventures and how we work together.
Lolo will say, "I will ask Kali," and he's going to send a messenger to go get Kali. Kali will be asked if she can write you a letter. That's a cool point for to be used as inspiration for you, Butterbot, because Kali actually has a little lore drop for you in that letter, which will be given to us in a Discord early, probably tomorrow or early next week, to keep you guessing. So we don't have a map of the Sky Kingdom, but Copperbelly, my friend, Cardigan says, Copperbelly, I know you know that I know you are a man of call box operation, and you're a man of many doors. Why don't you bring these lads to your call box and show them the way to the sky? And he kind of winks at him. The call box operator is going to take out a key. He's going to say, heroes, follow me. King Lololo, thank you for the feast. Is there anything else that you guys want to ask any of these Game Hook NPCs before you go? Because this will be the last time you see some of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was something I wanted to ask.
Blim Bubble Wash, I like your wings.
Thank you. Thank you. If you, Stag, since you are a have such a good eye, I will tell you this. You'll need to breathe underwater if you ever want to come find us. We're there.
Yeah,
How do we breathe underwater?
I'm afraid of that.
And you'll need to have you'll need to battle some rusting issues. Uh, the Unbegotten Sea is miles deep and forever long. But the kingdom of Unbegotten, it offers those earth dwellers a place to breathe, but you just have to get there. He's going to hand you a pouch to be used, and the pouch is going to say to be used at last breath. The pouch has special items in it that will only come out for those earth dwellers that are on their last breath. This is for you
Okay.
guys.
Well, thank you very much.
Pouch.
Well, we will hopefully not have to not get to our last breath. We'll find a way to come visit you in the Unbegotten Sea.
So, anything else you guys want to ask these NPCs about the world?
Oh, I wanted to ask Copperbelly about the door to the sky. So I turn to Copperbelly and I say, "Sir, I remember you. You were the conductor of the transportation toll booth. Is that correct?
Yes.
Phone booth?
I am the creator of the call box that we use to travel the Trigard. Turgan, just imagine that it is what he's describing to you is sort of like the Matrix travel. There's old school telephones all over Trigard that they use and pick up, and they get teleported to a large area with a lot of doors, and those doors lead to other telephones around Trigard. It's how the city travels and commutes to work and stuff. So that's what he's describing. Yes,
Okay.
of course. And he has his big thing that he's holding is a big thing of keys. What was your question now? You wanted to know something about. He's like, It seems like every time we meet, I'm drunk.
Well, at least last time it was intentional on my part. This time I had no part in it. But I must say, sir, I was so intrigued by your room and by your work. You must tell me, where does the door in the ceiling go?
The door. No, the door on the floor.
Or the door on the floor? I thought it was a door on the ceiling. Was it just on the
You
floor?
are on to something. Come with me here, lads. Follow me. King Lolo has instructed me to bring you to that door, and that's just the door that I was supposed to be bringing you to. He's going to take out a key, go over to a table, pick up a. No, I'm sorry. He's going to go over to a table, pick up his belongings, and lead to a door. Siphon through his keys, put a random key in a door. The door is going to shine open, shine bright, and he's going to open. And he's going to say, "Follow me, my lads." And everyone's going to say goodbye, goodbye. Dimly, Axon is going to say, "You, Warforge, hope you make it down to the Middle Dark. When you do, tell Moses, Dimly, Axon didn't die in vain." And I hope that that he rights the wrong of Amil down there. Tell Moses when you see him, Dimly Axon didn't die in vain. That should help you. The Middle Dark is one of deceit, but those words will ring true.
So I turn to my companions and I say, I don't think this is. I thought we were going to the Sky Kingdom. Maybe we should ask this for an IOU later, kind of thing.
Maybe. Yeah. So was it Copper
Copperbelly.
Belly? So we're actually trying to get up to the Sky Kingdom right now.
Sure. Follow me.
You can help us with that?
Absolutely. The Weathersbody and are gonna say, bye, bye.
Yeah, I will say to Copperbelly, thank you so much. I would love to use the store another time, but my companion's taking elsewhere. Give him a formal farewell.
Turgan, roll me
Yes.
you are going to have another one of these shockingly vivid images of a white skull in your head, and as you awaken out of that, not awaken, as you come to, as you're walking over to join the group next to the shining door that Copperbelly has put a key into. You are going to come awake, and the two women are going to be staring at you. Give me a persuasion roll with advantage. And I will tell you what happens.
8.
That was your persuasion with advantage?
Yep. I have a -1 to it.
The let's see who's so you're gonna woo one of them, and 20. Let's see. You know what? You decide. One of them is gonna fall for you. Cordial, the weather woman, or
Pyro?
Cairo. Sorry, hold on here. Yerner Weathersbody and Cairo Cuddle Roar are gonna both look at you. One of them is gonna be a lot more fond of you than you probably would like, and they're gonna say to themselves, "Oof, this gentleman has some sort of radiant, white, beautiful hue glowing from him." And why don't you roll me? Why don't we just do it even or odd? Just roll your d20, even or odd. Odd it's Yerner Weathersbody, or even it's Cairo Cuddle Roar.
All right, I picked odd and I rolled an 11.
So that's Yerner Weathersbody is going to say, "Woof, you're such a hunk. I'm just falling in love with you." She is going to offer you a pulling out of her pocket a vial. Now you got to roll me a D100 and take a note down for what this potion does.
58.
58. She hands you glowing cubes of golden light swirling through a thick, muddy brown potion. When you drink it, for 1 minute, you gain a burrower speed of 60 feet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, you're gonna fucking.
You're a purple worm.
Like a little,
Yeah, you're going to the sky,
like a
but
little,
you're
like a
so-
little, like whirling dervish falling on the ground.
and she's
So
going to
what
say
is this called?
it's called. Well, there is no name. It gives you it's a magic potion. We'll call it the Burrower potion. It gives you a burrower speed of 60 feet for 1 minute. So you can essentially go in and out of the ground deep down or however far you want, up to 60 feet, any point in time after you drink this, for up to a minute. It's just in a vial. It's got glowing cubes, and they're swirling in this thick, muddy brown potion. and she's going to say, and this was whether she's older. The older lady has fallen in love with you because of the white aura that is radiating through your veins at the moment. With that said, Copperbelly is going to say, enough of this. Cairo, Yerner, ladies, good evening. We have business to attend to. He's going to open the door and walk through. Do you guys follow?
Yes.
King Lololo is going to say, you're always welcome back to Trigard. We will inform the guards that you are essentially one of them and to be treated like such. As you pass through this door, let me just highlight you guys, save you as Copper Group, so I don't have to search and you guys are going to be transported to the... Man, it's been so many maps since the... Here, Callbox Operator. Callbox Operator Hall. You guys are going to come out. The music has stopped. Uh-oh. The music is actually... Okay. You guys come to, you walk through two doors. One door, you walk through the first door, and the Copperbelly, you guys want to say anything to Copperbelly as he's walking through? He says, come this way. We must close that first door before we can move on to the next. Get in now. And you guys all sort of follow him in. And oops, I shrunk one door by accident. And you're in. He's like, I am quite drunk. I hope this gets us to the next spot. Let me make sure he can. With a 20, he should be fine. Constitution save. He's not drunk. I was going to have you guys transport randomly somewhere else, but a Constitution save of a 20 for him. He will lead you right into the call box. So essentially, he's going to say, I remember some of these lads from last time. Turgan, I am the call box operator. This is my call box station. And this is where all of the transportation is done. You, however, are going to be coming with me. And he points towards, who brought up that, the sky? Who was that?
The floor door.
Yeah, the floor door. That was Buddha.
I think Stag did.
Oh, Stag. Come this way. The floor door. And you guys have already opened this, by the way. When you open it, and when he goes over and he takes his key out. Now, you have to pick your vessel, and you'll be on your way. He puts his key in the ground and opens the door, and a big gust of air blows out from it, and you look down, and you see that this door, in the door, you are in the sky already, and located down in there, you remember that? Located down underneath you are a series of ships. Now be gentle and be careful when you jump onto them. And you'll see that there are going to be a variety of different ships, but this particular one that you wanted was mediocre in size. And let's get your airship. And once I get you
I
this,
thought it was stealthy.
it's going to be.
Okay.
And we'll pick one from one of the workshops. And this is
Ooh.
essentially where we get airships.
We're going shopping.
Yeah, here. Oop. People might crash out of this. Do they have airships on this?
Oh yeah, I see stuff on the side.
Like gunship? No. Let's see. What does that look like? No, not cool enough for me. But you will get your airship, and that's where we're going to call the. Let me just go back to the Warforge. I'll probably just end up giving you the other airship.
The other airship,
Yeah.
the
Unless
cool metal one. No, the regular one.
You know what? I think
But
I think
it
we
doesn't
recently.
have that weird engine in it, though, right?
No, it doesn't have. No. Where did I? Adam, didn't I show you the? Oh, you know what? It was in here airship. That was that. Sorry, it's taking me a second.
Your first session back, DMing, you're learning where all your maps are.
Yeah, here we go. Clouds.
Oh, juice.
All right. I think what he's going to end up doing is giving you one of these.
This is a little guy.
Would you? So he's going to say to you, you have the smaller, more. This one here. This is the trading one that was. He's going to say to you, you can have a larger one that acts more like a ship. It might be something that you can use in a little safer manner, or you can have one of our smaller, more discreet vessels.
Ooh.
And that's up to you to decide.
You guys want one of the ninja flying pads? The ones on the side? Oh, Booter, you probably can't see it.
I'm not logged in. I mean, I just think we should go for whatever we think is going to help the mission.
All right, I'll send you. I'll get pictures of them.
I
So
say
we
go
got
big or go home.
Go big or
We got-
go home. Love it.
we got this little guy, little stealthy guy. Oh, it's a nice little picture.
I mean, we all know you guys are going to go for the larger one, right? I mean,
Not necessarily. This little one over on the side is pretty sick. Or here we get a whole picture of it. Or here's your second one.
Watch him.
There it goes. The whole proper airship.
I mean, like they both look like. I guess again, for me, it's just about whether there's a distinct advantage to each of them. The second one looks cooler. But I'm really happy with either one. Bergen, do you have a strong opinion?
I mean, I think like being exposed on those platforms, you know, why not have like this? Have a big behemoth that
Okay.
we could protect ourselves on. You know,
Yeah,
get the-
that's
You
fair.
can have the big boy.
Yeah, I mean, also the big boy is probably more valuable if we ever need to sell this thing.
True.
yeah. I mean,
And we can have bigger parties on it.
That's true.
all
You
right.
fit at
Right.
least like 50, 60 people on that bad boy.
Three full decks of party.
yeah, we can start collecting people, create an army.
Yeah.
No.
Well, trying to get an image of you guys on this thing before I crash it out. All right, so you guys are on your.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys are on your. You have been given a sky ship. You are essentially on this ship. The problem is your characters are too big. The Lolo has thanked you for your services. Go big or go home. and he has given you your essentially your airship. On it, there will be you'll have some defense. You'll have a big harpoon. You'll have your turrets. There is an engine downstairs. There's room for cooking. In the past, I have given the characters and players a rules, a role for, and I'm going to repeat that. I thought that was fun. But I will tailor my roles for the ship. So, like, the person who was the boatswain had advantage on, it was his job to make sure the decks were clean and fixing things. So if you were to dock somewhere, you're going to keep those additions. So those will change your numbers as you go, and I'll discuss it in the Discord. But you're going to need a captain. You're going to need a medic. You're going to need someone who's the quartermaster. You're going to need someone for defense. So
Someone to swab the poop deck.
yeah, and someone just to play music, Chris.
Yep, that's me. Just stand on the bow and play my dulcimer.
And Copperbelly is going to say, now, thank you very much, and here are a couple of the temple monks to assist you. He's giving you 4 of them. They will help you clean the decks and when you need them. Just use them as. Just be nice to them, please. They are, the call box can only be used by people. Without people, my invention here has no needs. Good luck and Godspeed. You'll have, and you notice when you get when you drop down onto the ship, there are 2 military ships to each side of the airship that are sort of leading you and waiting for you. As Lolo said, they're going to lead you out of the city area. And that is where we are going to end for this evening.
All right.
Nice.
Roll high and subscribe.